Chosen one, this message is meant to ground you, not inflate you. If you are hearing this now, it's because you are entering a phase where understanding replaces confusion and responsibility replaces wishful thinking. Real growth does not arrive loudly. It arrives with clarity. You are learning that true power is not about being chosen above others, but about choosing alignment with higher principles in your everyday actions. This is why certain situations, relationships, and beliefs are falling apart. They can no longer stand where truth, discipline, and self-awareness are present. Before we continue, take a moment to support this space for learning and reflection. Hit the like button, subscribe to help us reach 30,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11 as a sign of commitment to your growth. What others feel as shaking is simply the effect of someone who lives with integrity and purpose. You don't need to announce who you are becoming. Your consistency teaches louder than words. When wisdom is practiced, not preached, it naturally elevates those who are ready and challenges those who resist change. This is the highest form of influence: service through example, strength through self-mastery, and fulfillment through contributing to something greater than the self. This message is a beacon for anyone seeking true purpose in life. It reminds us that greatness is not about status, recognition, or control. It is about living in alignment with higher truths and principles. In a world full of distractions, ego-driven ambitions, and fleeting success, understanding this idea is crucial. It teaches that inner harmony, ethical action, and self-mastery create a lasting impact that resonates far beyond personal gain. When embraced, these lessons transform uncertainty into clarity, chaos into opportunity, and ordinary lives into extraordinary influence. To me, this message is a powerful call to awaken our deeper potential. It reinforces the idea that being chosen is not about luck or privilege. It is about intentional growth, responsibility, and service. I believe that everyone has the capacity to embody this alignment, and doing so is the most meaningful contribution one can offer to the world. Living by these principles elevates not just ourselves, but everyone around us, creating ripples of wisdom, courage, and compassion that extend far beyond our immediate environment. Being chosen is often misunderstood as a title or recognition that elevates one above others. In reality, it is an internal journey rather than an external accolade. It signifies the alignment of one's actions, values, and purpose with higher principles that serve the greater good. The chosen individual does not seek attention, but instead focuses on embodying integrity, wisdom, and compassion in every decision. This redefinition encourages people to move away from superficial validation and embrace the deeper responsibility that comes with self-mastery. True greatness is measured by the quality of influence one has, not the amount of attention received. History shows that those who leave lasting legacies are not the loudest or most celebrated, but the most aligned. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, or even modern innovators like Malala Yousafzai gained reverence because their lives mirrored their principles. Their influence arose from consistency, humility, and an unwavering commitment to a higher purpose, not from chasing recognition. When we internalize this understanding, our approach to life transforms. We begin to see challenges as opportunities to deepen our alignment rather than threats to our ego. Every decision, every interaction, and every thought becomes a chance to demonstrate clarity, courage, and ethical action. Being chosen, therefore, is less about being set apart and more about being deeply connected with ourselves, with others, and with the universal flow of higher purpose. Power, in its truest form, is born from alignment, not dominance. When our thoughts, emotions, and actions harmonize with our deepest values, a natural force arises that influences the world without coercion. This alignment generates clarity of purpose, resilience in adversity, and a calm authority that inspires trust. Unlike temporary authority based on position or wealth, alignment creates sustainable impact because it is rooted in integrity and authenticity. Consider an individual who consistently acts with honesty and compassion, even when it is difficult. Their alignment with these principles attracts people, builds communities, and fosters trust. The power here is invisible yet undeniable. It does not impose itself through fear, but guides through example, showing that true influence is earned, not demanded. Studies in leadership psychology support this. Leaders who demonstrate alignment between values and actions generate stronger engagement, loyalty, and performance. Awareness is more than knowing. It is understanding the consequences of our thoughts, actions, and intentions. When awareness deepens, responsibility naturally follows. The chosen individual recognizes that every decision has ripple effects on themselves and the world around them. This realization transforms responsibility from a burden into an opportunity to create meaningful impact. For example, a conscious leader in a team setting does not only aim to meet targets, but ensures that their actions foster growth, fairness, and collaboration. Similarly, in personal life, awareness allows us to notice patterns of behavior that may cause harm, enabling us to correct them proactively. Responsibility becomes a tool for self-mastery and service, rather than a source of stress or guilt. The transformation is profound. Awareness without responsibility is shallow, and responsibility without awareness is misguided. Together, they form a foundation for ethical, purpose-driven living. When one embodies both, their influence is not only felt, but respected, as it arises from deep comprehension and thoughtful action. The world begins to respond positively to such aligned individuals, creating an environment of trust, safety, and growth. Living consciously is a daily practice that extends far beyond mindfulness or self-reflection. It involves intentional action, ethical decision-making, and constant awareness of the impact of our choices. When someone lives this way, their presence alone influences others, awakening clarity, courage, and ethical behavior in those around them. The ripple effect of one conscious individual can transform entire communities over time. Take the example of social movements driven by morally aligned individuals. The change begins with one person choosing to act in harmony with higher principles, inspiring others to follow suit. Every small act of kindness, integrity, or courage accumulates, creating a momentum that reshapes environments. Science even shows that pro-social behaviors spread through communities, proving that conscious living is not just spiritual, but tangible and measurable. Moreover, conscious living nurtures resilience. Individuals aligned with their principles respond to adversity with grace, turning challenges into lessons rather than crises. Their presence becomes a source of calm and guidance for others, exemplifying the power of living intentionally. By embodying the values we wish to see in the world, we contribute to a culture of collective growth and ethical advancement. Transformation begins within. When individuals align their thoughts, emotions, and intentions with higher truths, their external reality begins to reflect that inner change. This is not wishful thinking. It is a natural law observed in psychology and spirituality alike. The way we perceive and engage with the world shapes the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that manifest in our lives. For instance, a person cultivating patience, empathy, and ethical clarity will find that conflicts diminish and cooperation increases. Environments respond to inner vibrations. The energy we carry influences how people interact with us and how situations unfold. This is why spiritual and psychological teachings emphasize self-awareness, emotional mastery, and integrity. These inner shifts have real-world consequences. The shaking often felt during growth, uncertainty, discomfort, or challenge is a sign of transformation. Old habits, limiting beliefs, and illusions dissolve to make space for higher potential. Rather than resisting this shift, embracing it accelerates personal and collective evolution. Individuals who successfully navigate this inner work emerge as stabilizing and inspiring forces, demonstrating the power of conscious self-mastery. Growth is rarely comfortable. When we step into higher alignment with truth, purpose, and responsibility, it challenges old beliefs, habits, and illusions. The shaking is not a threat, but a natural signal of transformation. Just like a tree shedding dead branches to grow stronger roots, personal evolution requires letting go of limiting patterns and perspectives that no longer serve us. The feeling of instability during growth is often amplified because our environment may resist change. Friends, family, or societal norms may not immediately understand our transformation, creating friction or isolation. Yet, this discomfort is a critical part of the process. It teaches resilience, clarity, and discernment. Without these moments of tension, true maturity and alignment cannot fully emerge. Consider innovators and spiritual leaders throughout history. They often faced opposition, ridicule, or misunderstanding before their influence became widely recognized. Their inner alignment allowed them to remain steady amidst external chaos. Growth, therefore, demands courage. The courage to stand firm in your values even when the world feels uncertain or unsteady. Shaking also serves as a mirror, reflecting unresolved fears, attachments, or ego-driven desires. By observing these patterns with awareness rather than fear, we can consciously release what limits us and embrace what empowers us. In this way, instability becomes a teacher, guiding us toward deeper alignment and a more authentic existence. Ultimately, understanding that transformation feels disruptive allows us to approach growth with patience and self-compassion. Instead of resisting change, we can lean into it, knowing that every internal shift ripples outward, reshaping our reality and increasing our influence in profound ways. True wisdom is revealed not in titles, accolades, or appearances, but in consistent, principled action. Knowledge alone is passive. It must be embodied to create impact. The chosen individual demonstrates their insight through decisions, behavior, and the subtle ways they inspire others, rather than relying on authority or reputation. Historical examples abound. Gandhi's wisdom was visible in his daily practice of nonviolence and simplicity. Mother Teresa's insight shone through her relentless service to the poorest of the poor. Modern educators, activists, and leaders continue this tradition, proving that wisdom gains relevance only when it transforms lives through meaningful action. Action grounded in wisdom requires reflection, patience, and courage. It means prioritizing long-term impact over immediate reward, ethical consistency over convenience, and collective good over personal gain. Such choices create influence that is enduring, respected, and deeply motivating for those who observe them. Furthermore, wisdom in action often inspires others silently. People notice not just what is said, but how integrity is lived. This form of influence transcends manipulation or force. It motivates naturally because it resonates with universal principles of fairness, compassion, and truth. By embracing action as the ultimate expression of wisdom, we shift from theoretical understanding to transformative living. This empowers us to cultivate trust, guide ethically, and model the highest potential of human capability, leaving an enduring imprint on every life we touch. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction or rigidity, but in spiritual and personal growth, it is a cornerstone of freedom. It is the consistent practice of aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with one's highest principles. Discipline allows us to resist fleeting impulses, overcome inner obstacles, and cultivate resilience, ensuring that alignment is not fleeting but enduring. Without discipline, awareness, and intention remain fragmented. Even with noble goals, inconsistent action undermines impact and stunts growth. For example, a person may aspire to practice compassion, but without the discipline to act consistently, even in challenging moments, its influence remains superficial. Discipline transforms aspiration into tangible results, creating a life that mirrors inner values. Daily rituals, mindfulness, focused learning, and self-regulation are all expressions of discipline. These practices shape character, refine judgment, and strengthen ethical resolve. Over time, disciplined living cultivates trust and reliability, both internally and in relationships, becoming a foundation for authentic influence and spiritual authority. Discipline also protects against the seductive pull of ego, distractions, and short-term gratification. It fosters the courage to make difficult choices aligned with long-term purpose, even when immediate rewards are scarce or uncomfortable. This creates a profound sense of freedom, because we are no longer slaves to whims or external pressures. Ultimately, discipline is a bridge between potential and manifestation. It converts awareness into action, vision into reality, and insight into lasting impact. Through discipline, the chosen individual not only matures spiritually, but also becomes a dependable source of guidance and inspiration for others. A true leader or chosen individual demonstrates rather than dictates. Influence arises from example, not mere words. People are inspired not by what is preached, but by what is practiced consistently. Living in alignment with higher principles, compassion, integrity, service transforms a person into a model for others to emulate. For instance, consider educators or mentors who embody patience, curiosity, and empathy. Students do not just learn from their instructions, they absorb the attitudes, habits, and values reflected in their daily conduct. Similarly, leaders who embody ethical consistency inspire teams to act with integrity, even without direct oversight. Being a model also involves humility. The chosen individual does not demand reverence or recognition, but earns it naturally through their alignment and behavior. Their presence radiates stability, clarity, and authenticity, creating a gravitational pull that motivates others to elevate themselves. Moreover, modeling encourages practical learning. Observers witness principles applied in real-life scenarios, making abstract concepts tangible. Compassion becomes actionable, discipline becomes habitual, and courage becomes a visible choice rather than an idealized notion. In essence, being a model transforms influence into a living, breathing phenomenon. It turns knowledge into practice, guidance into inspiration, and potential into actualized impact, demonstrating the profound truth that the highest teaching is always lived rather than spoken. Living by higher principles, truth, compassion, integrity, and service profoundly influences even the smallest daily choices. Decisions that seem mundane, such as how we respond to criticism, manage time, or interact with others, accumulate over time to define our character and destiny. Alignment ensures that each choice reflects the person we aspire to become. For example, choosing honesty in a difficult situation may temporarily create discomfort, but it strengthens trust and personal credibility in the long run. Choosing empathy over judgment in social interactions fosters connection and understanding, creating positive ripples in the community. Every small, principle-based decision contributes to a coherent, resilient life structure. Higher principles act as a compass when moral ambiguity arises. In moments of temptation, frustration, or uncertainty, they provide clarity, preventing actions that may satisfy immediate desires but undermine long-term alignment. In this way, decisions are not reactive but intentional, grounded in conscious awareness. Moreover, principle-driven choices cultivate consistency. When people observe integrity, fairness, and compassion repeatedly, it fosters confidence and admiration, creating environments of cooperation, mutual respect, and ethical growth. Our impact multiplies because values are communicated through action, not rhetoric. Ultimately, living by higher principles transforms ordinary life into extraordinary influence. It ensures that even seemingly trivial moments contribute to personal growth, societal betterment, and the embodiment of the highest human potential. True influence does not rely on fear, coercion, or positional authority. It emerges naturally from integrity, empathy, and alignment. When a person consistently embodies higher principles, others are drawn to their presence and guidance voluntarily. This influence is deeper and more lasting because it appeals to conscience and respect rather than obligation or pressure. For instance, consider social innovators or activists who inspire communities without commanding authority. Figures like Martin Luther King Jr. led massive movements not through fear or power, but through moral clarity, consistent example, and compelling vision. People followed because they trusted his alignment with higher truths, not because he demanded obedience. Influence without force fosters cooperation rather than compliance. It builds trust and engagement, encouraging others to rise to their highest potential. When people feel inspired rather than pressured, their actions carry conviction, creativity, and ethical commitment, multiplying the effect of leadership or guidance. Furthermore, this type of influence promotes sustainability. Temporary control or intimidation may yield short-term results, but lasting transformation occurs only when people voluntarily choose to align their actions with shared principles. This is the kind of influence that creates enduring communities, ethical cultures, and generational impact. Ultimately, mastering influence without force is a hallmark of the chosen one. It demonstrates that authentic power arises from character, not coercion, and that true leadership is a reflection of inner alignment, not outward status. Through presence, wisdom, and ethical action, one can inspire change that outlasts their personal reach. Worship is often misplaced. It can stem from admiration, fear, or idolization of titles and appearances. Worthiness, however, is earned through consistent alignment with higher principles, disciplined action, and service to others. Being worthy is not about commanding reverence, but demonstrating integrity, compassion, and reliability over time. Historical and spiritual traditions emphasize that reverence is a reflection of inner achievement, not external acclaim. Philosophers, saints, and ethical leaders are celebrated not because of their position, but because they embody values that resonate with universal truths. Worthiness is the quiet force that naturally draws respect and trust. This distinction is critical for anyone striving for meaningful influence. Seeking worship or external validation can lead to ego-driven behavior, distraction, and misalignment. Focusing on worthiness, on the other hand, cultivates authenticity, humility, and lasting impact. It is the difference between transient popularity and enduring legacy. For example, a teacher or mentor may never be widely known, yet their consistent ethical guidance, compassion, and knowledge transform lives profoundly. People respect and honor them not because they demand it, but because they consistently demonstrate integrity and wisdom. This is real worthiness in action. Ultimately, understanding this difference guides us toward genuine self-mastery. When we prioritize worthiness over worship, our actions align with purpose, our influence deepens, and we inspire others through living example, leaving a legacy far more meaningful than fleeting admiration or acclaim. Service is one of the most powerful ways to embody alignment and purpose. Elevation is not achieved through self-centered ambition, but through lifting others, sharing wisdom, and contributing to the collective good. The chosen one understands that true fulfillment arises not from accumulation, but from giving, mentoring, and enabling growth in others. Service creates tangible impact and strengthens moral character. When we prioritize the well-being of others through acts of kindness, education, guidance, or mentorship, we cultivate empathy, patience, and humility. This process transforms both the giver and the receiver, fostering a cycle of growth and empowerment that reverberates across communities. Consider modern examples such as volunteer movements, social entrepreneurship, or humanitarian initiatives. Those who dedicate time and energy to serve often experience profound personal transformation, alongside the measurable improvement in the lives of those they assist. Their influence spreads organically because service inspires trust, admiration, and motivation. Service also grounds ambition in ethics. While success can sometimes encourage ego-driven pursuits, service ensures that power, knowledge, and influence are used to uplift rather than exploit. This creates a legacy of meaningful, positive impact, reinforcing the principle that human potential reaches its peak when aligned with collective benefit. Ultimately, elevation through service demonstrates that the highest human purpose is relational, not solitary. By placing the needs of others alongside our own growth, we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and authority that inspire lasting change, a hallmark of true spiritual and personal mastery. Ancient wisdom, truth, compassion, courage, and discipline remains profoundly relevant today. While the world evolves technologically and socially, human nature and ethical challenges persist. Integrating timeless values into modern life allows us to navigate complexity with clarity, purpose, and grounded influence. For example, mindfulness and reflection, common in ancient traditions, can enhance productivity, emotional intelligence, and decision-making in contemporary workplaces. Similarly, compassion, once considered a spiritual virtue, is now scientifically linked to improved relationships, leadership effectiveness, and mental health. Ancient values, when applied contextually, become practical tools for personal and societal success. This integration also bridges the gap between ideals and reality. Many aspire to live ethically but struggle amidst modern distractions, pressures, and fast-paced lifestyles. Ancient principles act as a compass, guiding decisions, shaping relationships, and ensuring alignment with higher purpose, even in the midst of technological and social complexity. Moreover, applying these values inspires others in subtle yet profound ways. When someone embodies patience, honesty, and service in daily modern interactions, at work, online, or in social networks, they model timeless wisdom that resonates universally, demonstrating that values are not outdated but deeply relevant. Ultimately, blending ancient values with contemporary life creates a foundation for sustainable impact, ethical leadership, and personal fulfillment. It allows individuals to navigate modern challenges without losing sight of timeless truths, becoming anchors of stability and inspiration in an ever-changing world. The pinnacle of human potential is mastery of self, a state where awareness, purpose, and action harmonize seamlessly. It involves emotional resilience, ethical consistency, clarity of intention, and compassionate engagement with the world. Mastery is not about perfection, but about conscious growth, self-regulation, and alignment with higher principles. Self-mastery transforms every aspect of life. Thoughts become constructive, emotions are balanced, and actions are guided by purpose. This creates trust and opens doors to shared growth and opportunity. Moreover, curiosity nurtures resilience and adaptability. When individuals approach change with openness and exploration rather than fear, they thrive in uncertainty, learning to pivot, innovate, and grow through challenges rather than resisting them. Ultimately, nurturing lifelong curiosity transforms life into a journey of discovery and empowerment. It fuels continuous learning, creative problem-solving, and deep engagement, creating a life rich with purpose, understanding, and meaningful contribution. Legacy is created not by possessions or recognition, but by the positive impact we leave on people, communities, and the world. Every action, decision, and interaction contributes to a ripple that extends far beyond immediate circumstances, shaping how we are remembered and the change we inspire. Experience shows that impactful living emerges from alignment with values, purposeful action, and service to others. Individuals who prioritize contribution over accumulation leave enduring influence that transforms lives, cultures, and institutions. Legacy is cultivated daily through small, consistent choices. Acts of kindness, mentorship, ethical leadership, and disciplined growth may seem minor individually, but over time, they accumulate into a profound imprint that shapes future generations. Furthermore, legacy motivates intentional living. When we consider the lasting effect of our words and actions, decisions become more conscious, priorities clearer, and life becomes more meaningful. This perspective transforms ordinary existence into extraordinary influence. Ultimately, creating a legacy through impactful living ensures that life is measured not by fleeting achievements, but by enduring value. It embodies purpose, ethical alignment, and service, leaving a mark that inspires, elevates, and transforms others long after our time. As we reflect on these lessons, it becomes clear that true growth, influence, and fulfillment arise from alignment between purpose, awareness, and action. Every challenge, every choice, and every moment becomes an opportunity to embody higher principles and expand your potential. Life is not about waiting for extraordinary circumstances. It's about transforming the ordinary into extraordinary through discipline, service, courage, and conscious living. Each small, intentional step compounds into meaningful impact over time. Remember, mastery of self, resilience in the face of obstacles, and the courage to act with integrity define the measure of true achievement. Influence and legacy are earned, not demanded, and every action we take today shapes the world we leave behind. By living intentionally, embracing failure as a teacher, and cultivating values such as empathy, gratitude, and wisdom, you unlock your highest potential. You become not just a participant in life, but a guiding force, inspiring and elevating those around you. I hope this journey of reflection and insight inspires you to take the next step in your growth. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to align your actions with your purpose and create impact that lasts. Stay committed to learning, practicing discipline, and nurturing your inner strength. The path may challenge you, but the rewards, clarity, fulfillment, and influence are immeasurable. You have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. Let every choice reflect your highest values, and let your actions inspire courage, hope, and wisdom in everyone you meet. If this message resonated with you, make sure to subscribe for more insights on personal growth, motivation, and spiritual alignment. Hit the like button and share this with someone who needs inspiration today. Your small action could ignite a big change. Comment below and tell me which lessons spoke to you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode packed with motivation, guidance, and actionable wisdom.